Hello, I've been messing around with some more techno. I was listening to one of Colin Bender's recent sets, and this is pretty much a rip of that. I was just trying to learn a few different techniques that I picked up from it. So I'm going to run through them. The first one I didn't pick up from the video, but I've learned since last time is just a much neater way of doing sidechain compression. So the way I've done that is to take the group out, group insert from the mixer, run that through a compressor, and then back in here. And the kick goes in here as the sidechain input to the compressor. And now what this means is, in order to put anything through a compressor, all I need to do, through a sidechain compressor, is to throw it into group A. And you can hear that most clearly here on these two. So that there is no sidechain. And you can clearly hear it there ducking where the kick would fit in. And same on this one. So that just makes managing the sidechain a bit easier, which is pretty cool. The second thing is actually this voice, which I'm not 100% sure what, like this could just be kick delay or something like that, but the way I've done it here is to just wire up another kick, which is this one, and then just filter it a lot. And it just adds a bit, if I bring the full mix, yeah, I'll just, so that's without it. Just sort of adds a extra little bit of movement in there, which I think is quite nice. The third thing that I was messing around with was this little ticker. And that is just a really short, tight hi-hat sound coming out of here. And then I've set a sample and hold, a random sample and hold, to modulate the filter here. So that's without that. You can comb through here and get lots of different sounds, but yeah, just adds a bit of interest. I quite like that effect. It's quite nice. Next thing is the arps, so that's over here. Unsolo. So I'll take the reverb off for a bit so we can hear them. And what it is, it's two arps. So that's a minor chord, saw wave, filtered saw wave. Actually, I can bring the filter up a little so you can hear it. And then there's a second one, which is just an inversion and up. So when you stack the two together, you get kind of this nice chord movement thing. Throw a bit of delay, not delay, throw a bit of reverb on it, and you get quite a nice sounding up. That VCA isn't doing anything. Delete. Try a major version if you like. So that's the up, the two of them. And then the other thing I was messing around with was just using more delay than I typically do. So I've got delay on the clop. And that delay, I deliberately unsynced that. I just did that by hand, so you can sort of hear. It's almost on the beat, but not quite. And then the, oops. the bass sound, added some delay on as well. And I actually can use that down here later on to create this riser effect where, so I'll reset these knobs to 0, and then I've created this latch thing here, which, so when I turn it on, it uses a switch here to route the CVs of the feedback and wet dry. Previously there was nothing going into these. Now it's routing through these knobs, which is also nothing, but it means that now, so that's turning the feedback up. And then the only reason I use this latch is because I want to be able to turn it off quickly without having to do 2 knobs with my mouse. It's the kind of problem you don't have when you have proper knobs and 2 functioning hands to operate them. But it's a fun little trigger to make. The other fun bit of tech in here is this bass solo mute. So I'll show you. And what it does is, so this meld is going into the mute solo CVs. So when I touch it, it solos the bass, and when I touch it again, it unsolos the bass. So I can use this for any combination of muting and soloing. So say I wanted to keep the, let's see if I can do this live. Let's try and keep the hats going as well. So it's a good way to sort of just try out muting and soloing different parts all with a single button, which is pretty cool. Anyway, that's pretty much it. The rest is all sort of vanilla or stuff that I've covered before. I've got these tactiles, these tact inputs to just help with slow transitions over time. The bass sound's actually pretty cool. It's 2 analog filters, so if I just put 1 in, let me also just make it go a bit more than it has been. So there, and then just driving it through a filter. And that was just messing around with this bleak analog oscillator. The second one is just slightly detuned. I've also put a little bit of reverb on it, not too much, but it just gives it a bit of body, which is quite nice. Yeah, no, I think that's it. So I've posted the full track separately, so if you want to listen to that, I've linked it in the comments. Otherwise, hope you had fun, and hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time.